presentation.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I will share my screen and we can start with the presentation. So I'll switch off my video and then we can start with the presentation. So as my ma'am introduced me, I was into loan syndication, and from there I have received many internal audits. And at that time, we have to depend on many because we want to report each client around, I think 2021 internal audits were there. So we have to report each client on monthly basis. So it was very difficult to scrutinize every client's details on monthly basis. We have to heavily depend on uh, uh, say CA dropouts employees or CA final students. And whenever the exams are there, they normally they went to exam leaves, and it was hampering our um, working. So that's why we found that there is a need something automated tool should be there, and then we started working with Ledger Vision, and in 2019 we have launched it. Uh, so there are right now two softwares. One is Ledger Vision, which performs automatic tally ledger scrutiny, and another one is Ledger Fusion, which is helpful in automatic preparation of Schedule 3 balance sheet in Excel. So it provides you Schedule 3 as well as non-corporate financial statements like so balance sheets for HUF, individual firm, etc. So let's start with the Ledger Vision. So this is me and this is my partner. She is the brain behind the software. She has developed the software. Basically, there are many challenges currently. Like as I said, we have to depend on skilled employees. There is a resource crunch always available. We don't get trained and experienced candidates. We have to take the review of work done by them. Then there's a basic problem with that there is an inconsistency in the auditing documentation. Stringent timelines are there. There's a gap between volume plus transaction volume and whatever we are billing, whatever fees we are getting, etc. Then there are regulatory aspects like increased non-compliance cases against CAs, then increased disclosure requirements, etc. Now, the major problem with the clients also that we follow them up from April, say from April for providing us the data, but I can say even 80% of the cases they end up by providing us data in September only. And on this 11th hour also they are expecting much more. So that is also a problem. We stretched our working hours. We have to work in nights also because we have to file everything within the due date. And then again, our team expectations are there. They want work-life balance. They want growth in their work. Yeah. So there should be. So it is not possible whenever the manual working. So there, I can say most of the time we spend on working on Excel on clerical things also. So if there is something which can save our time, that saved time can be used in many productive areas of the practice. So why Ledger Vision? Ledger Vision provides you high quality base level scrutiny of books of accounts in Tally. So basically right now Ledger Vision is working on only Tally. So be it Tally ERP9 or Tally Prime, even it works on education mode of Tally also. So we are working with other software also like Zoho, QuickBooks, some SAP models are there. So we are working on that. I think in coming months we can launch the scrutiny tool for other softwares also. But right now it is on Tally. There are around 67 reports which covers GST audit and 2A2B reconciliation, statutory audit, tax audit, internal audit, etc. So some questions are there. So it provides sampling for audit transaction also. And because I am into practice, I know the problems. And accordingly, I have developed. Now, when it was originally developed, there were 22 reports, but now in past 3.5 years, there are many chartered accountants using Ledger Vision, and they have given us valuable suggestions. Now, the reports are increased from 22 to 67. Okay, so what are the key benefits? So there are 200 plus. So right now, there are 220 inbuilt rules, and the rules coverage of the rules is for GST, TDS, company law, tax audit, statutory dues, travel, etc. Significant saving of time is there. It checks each and every ledger and each and every tally voucher. So 100% checking is there. No judgmental calls, so no deviation in results. All the reports are uniform. Many clients have given me the feedback that whatever report we provide, they are downloadable to Excel, and they have used those as documentation, which is useful for their peer review also, and it increases accuracy also. So because it is a rule driven. Now, the problem with the tally is very flexible. Okay, that one can have one can have customized voucher types. So it is not required that you have to use the uh, default voucher types provided by the tally. You can have your own voucher types. Then you can customize your grouping also. Like if you can open your fixed asset, suppose there is a motor car, and if you can open that motor car ledger under blank also, and tally will allow you. So it is very flexible. No discipline in tally grouping right now. And to use the ledger vision, you don't have to maintain the standard tally grouping also. We cannot say that, okay, if you are using only standard tally grouping, then only ledger vision will work. So our software is configurable one. Any kind of accounting style is captured by the software. Again, there are inbuilt features in tally for TDS and GST. You don't have to activate those inbuilt features for using ledger vision. Ledger vision is a standalone software. So it pulls data from tally, and then we are having our own rule engine. So we will run our scrutiny rules for detecting wrong accounting entries, wrong GST, wrong TDS entries. So no need to activate inbuilt tally features. And it handles multiple GST and TDS accounting style, like combined. So what is multiple accounting style? Like you must have seen there are, suppose if stock item wise accounting is there, then only 3 ledgers of GST are sufficient: CGST, SGST, IGST. But many cases you must have seen that they have bifurcated all the ledgers, like input output wise, and again in input and output they bifurcate rate wise. So input output and GST rate wise bifurcation is also there in GST accounting. But all kind of accounting styles are taken care by software. Now what is magic behind? It is very fast. I can say, suppose there are 10,000 accounting entries, it finishes scrutiny within 2 or 2.5 minutes. It is so fast. Then data confidentiality is there. Why? Because it is a desktop-based version, so no internet requirement is there. So whatever data we pull, everything is stored in your desktop. So uh, we don't have any control on your data. So data confidentiality and data security is maintained. There is a seamless tally integration. You don't have to export something from tally and then import into ledger vision. With the click of a button, we pull everything from tally to ledger vision. Now, coming to scalability, you can have a scrutiny of any single tally company for n number of times, or you can have any number of tally companies. So you can scrutinize any number of tally companies also. As I said, there are 200 plus rules, and it is configurable. So now this configuration activity is one-time activity only. For any tally company, you have to configure this once. Around 90 to 95% configuration is done by software, depending upon the tally grouping and rules written for auto configuration. But some of the things you have to manually intervene, like if you have received some declarations about no requirement of TDS from GTA, or like turnover disclosure in case of 194 to 206 TDS, TCS, etc. So you have to manually tick mark those data creditors. So that's why we have said that 90% is automatic and 10% you have to manually intervene. Or you have to select the related parties, because software is not able to detect the related parties. So those things you have to be manually intervene. Now there are 4 steps. In first step, we pull data from tally, then you have to configure the tally company once in the span of the scrutiny. Then we run scrutiny and all the results are generated. All results are visible on screen, but you can download each and every result in Excel. So it is very easy. You can use filters, you can add notes, you can directly send report to clients. That's why reports are provided in Excel format. So what are the results? In case of GST, we check each and every GST entry. There are multiple permutation combinations available in wrong accounting entries for GST. So all the areas are covered. Our clients are using this tool for monthly checking of GST and TDS entries, so that they can correct the data on time. They can pay correct. Right now they are paying correct amount of GST and TDS. Even their they are getting correct 2A, 2B reconciliation for GST, and even filing of return is correctly done. Then, as I said, we provide 2A, 2B reconciliation of data. Now, we are not GST Suite provider license holder, okay? But we are pulling all the tally data. So, for running 2A, 2B reconciliation, you have to download .json files from portal, and then we can run the scrutiny. We can run the reconciliation. We provide ready-made RCM liability report. We provide you bifurcation of data, expenditure-wise, rate-wise, etc. So you can identify the block credit also. We provide duplicate GST numbers if at all there are duplication of GST numbers. And when it was launched, that time GST audit was prominent. So bifurcation as per GST 99C is required. So rate-wise, expenditure-wise, and party-wise bifurcation is provided. In case of tax audit, we provide TDS scrutiny, and that we show no TDS or short TDS or excess TDS. Then segregation of TDS data, we provide segregation TDS category wise, rate wise, party wise, expenditure wise. From that, we calculate disallowances where no TDS is deducted or short TDS is there. And with the bifurcation, with you can have a ready-made 34A table. You have to use pivot table on TDS categories, and you will get category-wise expenditure-wise bifurcation. That is actually a 34A table. And we provide some of the tax audit tables like 43B, 216 SST, asset addition deletion. So those tax audit tables are provided, which are available from tally data whatever we have imported. Okay, so not all tax audit tables are provided; those only provided which are prepared on the basis of tally data imported. Then there are multiple results. I will be explaining those results in detail in demo. So creditors, debtors analysis, pending entries for finalization, like pending EMI interest entries of loans, pending interest income entries of investment and deposits. So pending drawing entries in case of individual HUF firm, pending finalization entries for provisions, prepays, reversal of opening entries, pending TDS provision entries, etc. So in number of things are there. It will help you to finalize tally company also. And now upcoming updates are I have updated software for 194Q and 206C1H. Now we are having third software for MIS reporting and dashboards, which is useful for virtual CFOs. But now we have decided instead of going for third software, we are going to merge that software in Ledger Vision only. Actually, it was designed on web-based, so it is not a desktop-based software. It was web-based software, but now we are changing it into desktop-based, and that will be added in Ledger Vision only. So you can use this software and you can provide virtual CFO services for your clients also. We will providing some of the major sampling techniques for audit based on your audit materiality. And last one is we have launched the beta version of auto update tally data because some of the other many clients have requested us that now you are providing the errors. We accept the errors, but now who is going to update the data? Basically, technically it should be updated by the accountants, but you must be knowing that whenever there are due dates is nearby, we only finalize tally company and we only finalize everything. So there is option given if you satisfied with the errors, if you want to change errors in tally, auto update tally feature is there. Within a click, you can change everything in tally. So we can add additional ledgers, we can change whatever existing wrong ledger masters. We can change the GST entries, TDS entry, whatever the errors shown by the software. So that is beta version right now, but in recent months it will be perfected and it will save a great deal of time. Okay, so these are the benefits. These are the feedbacks received from the clients. Nearly 2.41 lakh 2.41 lakh voucher entries were there and 72,000 ledgers, or that company is scrutinized by software in only 2.5 hours. Normally, it takes 10 to 15 days to complete by one team of CA to manage 8 articles. So you can see how many days we have saved. Then we have found accounting mistakes. In some of the cases, we have found frauds also. Then another tool is Ledger Fusion. I will just go through the summarized points of the Ledger Fusion. Then we can start with the demonstration of Ledger Vision. So sorry, some construction work is going on nearby, so the noise is disturbing. Okay. So in case of Ledger Fusion, I have gone through many softwares. They are very good softwares in market, but they are providing output in PDF format or in pistol format or in Word format. So some of the clients asked me to prepare some tool which will provide you balance sheets in Excel format. So Ledger Fusion came into, it was launched 2.5 months before only. So it is recently launched. So we pull data from Tally seamlessly. Data means we pull opening and closing balances for current as well as previous year. Now, as Ledger Vision, similarly in Ledger Fusion also only one time Excel based configuration is required, and output will be in Excel format. So you will get all the formulas and linking also. It is useful for Schedule 3 partnership firm, individual HUF. Even we help you in preparation of depreciation of company law as well as income tax. We can calculate you deferred tax for you, current tax, MAT, etc. We will provide you cash flow, and even hyperlinks are provided so that you can jump from balance sheet or P&L to notes and vice versa. So, and even consolidation of balance sheet also there, and standardized output is there. It saves a lot of time and energy. So I can say on this 27th of December, I have prepared 17 balance sheet in 8 to 10 hours. So it is so fast. And these are our contact details. I will be displaying them at the end of the session. So let's start with the Ledger Vision. So I am having older data for my client, but you will understand how software works and how data will be pulled and how the reports are generated. So in the bottom, you can see client oblique ODBC server 9000. If you go to your Tally, you will see only ODBC server, but I have changed it to client oblique ODBC server. In technical language, it is known as Tally Web Services, but in a common parlance, you can say it is a window provided by Tally so that Tally can communicate with any other software. So to activate this window, you have to go to F12, and in F12, you have to go to C Advanced Configuration. And then you have to change Tally ERP acting as both to, it is normally kept as none. You have to change it to both, and you have to enable the ODBC server. Same option is available in Tally Prime. You have to go to Help. You have to go into settings. You have to go to connectivity, and you can change these settings. Okay. So now 9000 is the default number from Tally, but suppose the 5000 is, suppose that number is different. Suppose 5001 is the number. Then you have to put that number in this field in Ledger Vision. This is the Ledger Vision's first run scrutiny window. So once you match the port number with the Tally, all the Tally companies opened in Tally will be reflected in the list. Now only one company is there. So this is the first thing, and it is only one-time configuration. So once you activate ODBC server, it will be there for the future period. Now, important thing is you have to decide the period. So if you are going for scrutiny of 1 month, then you have to select that period in Tally, and same period should be selected in Ledger Vision. Now I am going for entire year scrutiny. So I have selected 18-19 period for both. So Tally is also showing 18-19 and Ledger Vision is also showing 18-19. Okay. So that is the first requirement. And then we pull the data. So in background, you can see software is pulling the data. Data means we pull ledgers, masters, stock items, cost centers, narrations, etc. And we pull data on monthly basis. Okay. So in 12 months tranches, we pull the data, and as I said, the data is saved on your system only. So once data is now the time required for pulling data depends on size of the company, number of stock items, number of ledgers, number of vouchers, and what is the size of your RAM, right? Minimum prescription of RAM is 4 GB, but suppose you are going for heavy data like 40,000 entries are there and 8 to 10,000 ledger stock items are there, then it is suggested that you should go for 8 GB RAM or 12 GB RAM. Otherwise, Tally will get hang. Okay. Or it will take a longer time to complete the scrutiny because the number of ledgers and number of stock items are there. Then GST scrutiny goes into loop. It go on using permutation combination to find out the correct GST accounting entry as per the rates. So for processing that heavy data, you need to have a heavy RAM. Okay, so that is the suggestion. Now, as the data is pulled by the software, you will get the date and time of when last data has been fetched, and then you can go for configuration. So configuration is one-time activity. It is very simple. It flows from groups to ledgers. You can see there are 3 buttons over here. If you hover your cursor on this button, you will get all the written instructions. And if you go for this audio button, then this audio help is there, like Google Map. This lady will help you in each and every configuration, what to do, what not to do, etc. All the instructions will be provided by software itself. So it is very easy. Now there are 37 categories. This is known as category mapping. There are 37 categories, and software is mapping automatically. Whenever the default accounting is done, default grouping is done in the Tally. Like you can see in front of bank, all the bank groups are, so all the bank accounts are mapped by software automatically, or in front of branch and division is automatically mapped. You have to just click and you will get all the drop down. Drop down will contain all the balance sheet groups as well as P&L group. So you have to keep in mind, suppose if NA, now in this case you can see the capital 1 2 3 is not the default group by Tally. In that case, you will see this NA option. Okay. So if you have found NA in any particular category, this means either that category is not available in Tally or default name has been changed. So if you go to Tally in balance sheet, you can see capital 1 2 3. It is not a default name. Okay. So because name has been changed, so software is not able to understand what is that group. So you have to manually intervene and pick the respective group. So you can see capital name has been changed, loans liability name has been changed, fixed asset name has been changed, new investment has been changed. Now, as I said, it is a one-time activity. It was mapped 3 years back. So software is using that grouping also. But for your demo purpose, I have changed the grouping. So it is very simple. You have to untick NA and you have to find capital 1 2 3 group. And you have to just tick the box. So all the configurations are ticking the boxes only, nothing else. Okay. So I'm not going to waste my time in showing the category configuration or what is configuration, but I will show you important configuration so that you will understand what is the concept. All the instructions are available in system only, and because I want to show you the reports, there are 67 reports. I will try to show maximum reports. Okay, so software is mapping whether it is company, HUF, person. It is mapping the GST registration state. Then all GST ledgers input output wise are mapped over here, rate wise also mapped over here. All TDS ledgers are mapped. You can now, because it is an older company, I don't have TDS TCS ledgers, but that category is also there. You can map 194Q and 206C ledgers. And in case of TDS, it is mapping all the TDS ledgers category wise. Suppose only one TDS payable ledger is there, means all the TDS related entries are posted to only one TDS payable ledger. Then there is a additional configuration in next page. I will show that. In that, all the expenditures and fixed assets are listed, and software automatically maps TDS category by reading the nomenclature, because we want to bifurcate data category wise also. So only one TDS payable ledger will not help us to bifurcate the data. That's why we have given the automatic TDS categories to expenditures and fixed assets. And from there, it will capture the categories of the TDS. So I will explain one or two configurations, then we can run the scrutiny. Like these are the creditors. All creditors are listed over here. Okay. And if GST numbers, now this is the major problem. Most of the time you must have seen that either GST or PAN number is missing in the ledger master. So with the help of our update Tally facility, if you write down, or if the accountant write down all the GST number or PAN number, it will update. The software will update automatically everything in Tally. So right now, if GST number is available or PAN number is available, that will be listed over here. So from GST number, it is determining whether that particular creditor is within state or out of the state. But suppose GST number is not there, it will read the entries. If IGST entries are there, it will be treated as out of the state. If CGST, HGST entries are there, it will be treated as within the state. But if nothing is there, means no GST number is there and no CGST entries are there, then it will be treated as NA, not applicable. And from GST number or PAN number, it will determine whether the creditor is person, HUF, AOP, BOI, whatever the case may be. But if nothing is there, then by default we treat that creditor as firm, because we have taken conservative view. In case of 194C, we calculate TDS at 2%. But by reading the nomenclature only, if you know it is a person, like in this case, Ramkir Rao, I have changed it from firm to person. So if you know it is a person, you can change it manually. And suppose you have received TDS declaration from transporters, etc., you can tick mark those transporters, and our software will not calculate TDS. If you have if you know the related parties, I will take some of the parties because I want to show you the report. So if you know the related parties, the option of related parties is available in creditors, debtors, loans and liabilities, and loans and advances. Okay, so you have to just tick mark, and we will provide you related party reports. And suppose you know the declarations about previous year turnover is more than 10 crore, then you can tick mark this tick boxes. I was saying TDS payable, only one single ledger is used, then how to bifurcate data. So there's the additional configuration available, expenditure and asset addition. Here you will get all the P&L expenditures and all the fixed assets added during the year. Software is reading nomenclatures and it is providing categories. You can have multiple categories if you want, you can tick mark. But it is suggested, it is requested that you must go through this page once and see whether correct mapping is done, because software is not that much smart. It reads the nomenclature. Suppose it will read the word interest and it will provide the category. So you have to see whether it has not wrongly given 194 category to interest on GST or interest on TDS or interest on TCS, whatever the case may be, because it is reading only word interest. So if that is the case, then you have to intervene, you have to untick the box if the wrong 194A category is given to interest on loan. Okay. So suppose the spelling mistakes are there. Suppose commission spelling has been mistaken by the accountant, then software will not able to provide the category. Then you have to manually intervene and provide the category of 194H in front of commission. So one time overview is very, very important for this category configuration. And you can see the option is given here. We have provided 4 options: depreciation, prepaid, provision, and transport. So software automatically determines which are the depreciation related ledgers. So which are the ledgers where provisions are required, which are the ledgers where prepaid entries are required, and which are the transport ledgers. Because under section 48(3), single day payment is allowed up to 35,000 to the transporters. Otherwise, the limit is 10,000. And then you can decide the your frequency of provisions, etc. That is up to your audit requirements. If you are going for monthly audit, provide it for monthly, quarterly, then provide the frequency to quarterly. So this is the configuration. I have shown only important one. Now, these are the rules, and all the rules are ticked by default. But suppose you want to have selective, like as I said, our clients are using the software for monthly GST checking. You have to check only GST box, then software will check only GST related ledgers, GST related entities. If you want to check only TDS, you have to go for only TDS checkbox. Okay. So selective and piecemeal scrutiny is also available. Right now, I'm going for entire year scrutiny. When I say run scrutiny, software will run all the scrutiny rules on all the data. So in background window, you can see software is running the scrutiny. It will take around 50 seconds to complete the scrutiny. And we can download the reports. So scrutiny is completed. Only 38 seconds required to complete scrutiny of 911 ledgers and 2485 vouchers. So firstly, we will see whether entire scrutiny is done or not. So you can see 911 ledgers are checked, and out of 2489, 4 are cancelled. So 2485 vouchers are checked by the software. Okay. And this is the overview provided. Software is saying your balance sheet is not matched. Okay. Then it is showing there is a problem. This is the overview. Here you will get how many GST entries are passed and how many are failed. Fail means wrong accounting entries and pass means correct accounting entries. Okay. So TDS entries, 8 TDS entries are failed. So this is the overview. How many no transactions during the year ledgers are there. So you can go through the overview and you will understand the quality of data maintained by the software. All the results are visible on screen. You have to just pick the drop down and you can download all the results in Excel. So 5 buttons are provided over here. So analytical results are given separately. Okay. You have to just click the button. So you will get analytical results. There are 20 to 23 analytical reports. All GST reports are there. All tax audit and TDS related reports are there. Aging analysis is there, and additional results. So data related results are there. Okay. So let's start with one by one report. I will be showing most important reports only because it is not possible to show all the 67 reports, but I will show important ones. So let's start with the TDS. So there are three reports in TDS. One is TDS scrutiny. So there are 8 areas from where we capture TDS entries like payment to creditors or advances to creditors the area. I have seen that in most of the cases, same ledger of debtor is also used as creditor. In that case, we capture payment to debtor entries also. Then direct cash payments or direct bank payments. Then loans and advances is there. Fixed assets are there. Then direct cash entry, direct bank entry is there. So these are the areas from where we capture TDS related entries. And in some of the cases, if the direct or separate TDS entry is there, like party to TDS is a separate entry provided at the end of the month or end of the quarter, etc. That style of accounting is also captured by the software. So each and every style of TDS accounting is captured. So you can see in case of bill references, voucher and voucher types, NA is the word. We are not showing number and date. Why? Because we are working TDS on totality basis. So, for example, in case of 194C, we see whether total is crossing 1 lakh rupees, or if total is not crossing 1 lakh rupees, then any single transaction is more than 30,000 rupees. So this is the logic, and category-wise rules are given. Now, as I said, pass and fail entries are there. So in status, you have to select fail, and you will get all fail entries of TDS. So first entry, software is saying HDFC Bank. Now, why HDFC Bank is shown as party? Because, as I said, the category is direct bank entry is there. Okay. So what is the log? The log is saying, so entries fail, reason being no TDS is deducted. Okay. And log is saying ledger name is interest on unsecured loan. Section 194A interest is there for TDS. And amount is 18,000. So at that time, 10% was the rate. So 18,000 should be the amount of TDS. Now they have not deducted the TDS. Let's go to Tally and see whether software has considered this entry correctly. If I go to this interest on unsecured loan, you can see they have paid 18,000, but they don't mention to whom they have paid. So that's why, because we want to write this entry, we have considered HDFC Bank as a party, but you can have discussion with the client that the direct payment entry is there. You have to identify the person because TDS is required to be deducted. And you can see no TDS entry is there. Okay, so software has correctly captured the entry where no TDS is deducted. Our second area is audit fees payable. On 50,000, software is saying less TDS is deducted. On 50,000, they have deducted only 2,000 rupees. Technically, 10% should be, so 5,000 should be the TDS. So if I go to audit fees payable, this is the entry. Okay, so these are provisions. Another one is, suppose this Chandan Singh is the ledger. Again, software is saying less TDS is deducted. So 194C is the category. Contact charges are paid. 1,66,000 is the amount. Only 500 is deducted. Technically, at 1%, 1,665 should be the TDS. So if I go to this Chandan Singh, so multiple entries are there. I have to select entire period, and I will go for columnar view. So here you can see higher of the two. So payment or labor charges, whichever is higher will be considered for TDS checking. And what is the actual TDS? Actual TDS is 500 only. Technically, 1,665 should be the TDS. So software is correctly considered. Okay. So this is how the TDS scrutiny is done. Then party-wise summary report is there. Here you will get category-wise, rate-wise, party-wise details of the TDS. Okay, so here you will get party names, ledgers which are used for TDS, TDS categories, rate, and whether the entry is pass or fail. Okay, so here we will be showing you bill amount and what should be the TDS and what is the actual TDS and whether it is pass or fail. But this TDS expenditure wise is the most important report. It is a combination of these two reports, first two reports. Okay, so you will get all the TDS categories, all the TDS rates. You will get parties as well as you will get expenditures and fixed asset also. Okay, and here we are showing the TDS status, whether TDS is liable, not liable, excess TDS is there, no TDS is there, not required, still paid. All the categories of status are shown. And we have given the expenditure list. and amount is also written. Now this expenditure list is bifurcated based on TDS applicability. So one column is showing expenditures liable to TDS and another is showing expenditure not liable to TDS. Okay. So this will help you that to see that whether we have considered all P&L expenditures or not. And again, when the expenditures are liable to TDS, we are showing what is the applicable TDS amount and what is the actual amount. And if the actual amount is less than applicable amount, then we will calculate you for you the disallowance as applicable. Okay. Now, as I said, you can download this report to Excel. Even you can download from here also. So you can download, and if you use pivot table on this category column in Excel, and if you use filters for this TDS status, you will get a ready-made 34A table where you will get the bifurcation based on category, party, and expenditure. Okay, so you can use that table as a 34A. So this is our USP TDS scrutiny. Then I will show you some of the tax audit tables. Like one is cash sections. So the cash sections are listed. Say 43 to 16 SST, ST. The section limits are listed from which cash ledger payment has been made, that is shown. The date, the party or expenditure and amount. So whenever these limits are crossed, the details will be shown in this report. Now, what is probable unsecured loan? So in this report, you will get all the data and creditors where only receipt and payment entries are there. So this is the report requested by one of the senior CA. Suppose you are having heavy data like 30,000, 40,000 ledgers are there, and if money lending and money borrowing activities are there, and if they are hidden under debtors and creditors, then it is very difficult to go through each and every debtor creditor and find out and then report under 269 SST. So as I said, this is the only receipt and payment related report. So those ledgers, so these are the debtors and creditors having no purchases, no sales, and no JV entries. Only receipt and payment entries are there. So now it will shortlist the data, then you can go through these debtors and creditors. If you have something suspicious, you can have discussion with the client, and then you can get those debtors or creditors under 269 SST report. Okay. Then the related party transactions are there. So this report is dependent on the tick marks done by you. Okay. So we are not providing you the relation with the party and nature of transaction because software is unable to understand the relation and nature of transaction. You have to discuss this transaction with the client, and it is up to you. You have to write them to be filled by user. Okay. You have to fill in the relation and nature details, but we will be providing you the voucher type, the voucher number, date, amount, etc. Okay. Then statutory dues report is there. So ESIC, PF, GST, TDS, TCS, MLW, every the statutory dues is listed. So I will explain you this ESIC so you will understand the concept. So in the month of April, the due date is 15th of April. So this is not the due date for April. This is the due date for opening balance. Okay. So let's go to Tally to understand the concept. Okay. So if I go to monthly view, so 5357 is the opening balance of April. So the March amount is 5357, which is to be paid before 15th of April. Okay. And this is the total of the credit in the month of April. So if I go into April month, this is the total credit for the month of April. And this is the payment. So instead of 5357, they have paid only 2486. Voucher number is 23, voucher type is payment, and date is 16th of April. Okay. So there are two columns provided. One is for payment details before due date, and one is for payment details after due date. Okay. So instead of 5357, they have paid only 2486. That too, one day delay they have made. So software is saying 1 month delay is there, and the interest for 1 month is calculated. If suppose delay is continued, then we calculate for you the cumulative interest also. And you can see the closing balance is matching with the Tally data. So 5133 is the closing balance in the Tally also. Okay. So this is the closing balance. So this is how software uses the Tally data. Now it is requested you have to cross tally the challans and actual returns because this report is prepared on the basis of Tally entries only. Okay. So if they have delayed the entry in Tally, then it will be shown as delay in the month. So yesterday only this was the case. they have paid the challans well before the due date, but all accounting is done on same day. So all the payment entries are delayed by the accountant, and software is showing that it was delay in the payment of statutory dues. But that's why it is requested that you have to cross tally all the entries with the actual challans and returns. Okay. So this is the report for statutory dues. Then 269 SST table is there. So all the parties are listed over here from where loans are received or to whom the loans are given. If their ledger masters are with GST number or PAN, then those will be reflected over here. Then what is the opening balance? What is the closing balance? On that basis, it determines whether account ledger is squared off or not. And then when the amount is received, that amount is bifurcated, whether it is received in cash or bank or through ODCC or through JV entry. What is the interest amount paid or received, whatever the case may be. And again, payment is also bifurcated in cash, bank, ODCC or JV, and highest closing balance during the year that has been given. Now, because this is the older data, but I will be showing you 194 for demo purpose. I will be showing you TCS, TDS details. So all the debtors and creditors where amount is transaction amount is more than 50,000 is listed. You will get debtors, creditors, either GST number or PAN number. If both numbers are not available, then rate will be 1%. If any single number is available, then rate will be 0.1%. Okay. Then in case of creditors, we will be showing you opening balance also, because for calculation of TDS, we take total amount of payment, we deduct the opening balance, and then we reduce rupees 50 lakh, and on balance amount, we will calculate TDS. Okay. So we will be showing you actual TCS applicable amount, what is the actual TCS, TDS applicable amount, what is the actual TDS, and pending amount of TCS and pending amount of TDS. So this will be helpful for you. So actually, it is not applicable for 18-19, but for demo purpose, I have mapped the company so that I can show you the result. Okay. So these are all tax audit reports. Now let's start with GST. So on screen, only 5 results are shown, but in Excel, there are many reports. So important ones are shown over here. As I said, unlike TDS, we are showing you voucher number and date also. On screen, in case of GST, we show all the fail entries only, but if you download this report to Excel, you will get all pass entries as well as fail entries. Okay. So now in this case, software is saying the result is fail, so GST amount is matching. So what is the problem? Software is saying CGST, SGST applicable, but IGST posted. Now, how software is determining whether CGST, SGST is applicable or IGST is applicable? Now, as you know, this company is from Maharashtra. This ledger name is only suggesting that it is from Delhi. So technically, there should be IGST. But let's go to Tally to see what is the problem with the accounting. So if you go to Ledger Masters of this client, you will see address is from Delhi only, but the GST number is used, that is from Maharashtra. So according to software, if the Tally company's number and the creditors number is from Maharashtra, there should be CGST, HGST entry, and wrongly IGST entry posted. So you have to take the correct action. Okay, if GST number is wrong, then you have to change the GST number. If entry is wrong, then you have to change the entry. Okay. Then in second case, you can see software is saying fail because CGST, HGST amount are not matching. So CGST amount is 27,500, HGST amount is 22,500. So technically both should be 22,500. So as you can see, there are multiple problems with GST accounting. Either one ledger of CGST and another ledger of IGST is used, or suppose stock item is for 5% used, but GST entry is passed for 28%. Or if the rate was GST accounting is there, then CGST rate of 12% is used and SGST rate of 28% is used. Or in case of purchases, output entry is there, or in case of sales, input entry is there. So n number of permutation combination entries of wrong accounting is possible, and all the situations are handled by the software. All the queries will be listed. So it is requested that use this software for monthly checking of GST. You will get correct results. You can correct the results promptly, and then you can have correct 2A 2B reconciliation, and you can pay the correct amount also. Okay. So now one of the report I will like to show you in Excel, GST related report. So next report is party wise GST details and expenditure wise GST details. So in party wise, we will be providing you all the parties. So if direct cash receipts or bank receipts or payments are there, then cash or bank will be considered as party. GST rate is there, total amount of income or expenditure is there, and whether it is input or output, that is also given here. Okay, so all bifurcation is there. Important report is this P&L wise GST summary. Now this, though GSTR 996 is not our responsibility, but if clients are requesting or that particular threshold limit of turnover is crossed, then it is our responsibility to file the GSTR 996. So in this report, I have added these two columns, GSTR 9 and GSTR 9C. The data is bifurcated. So if in drop-down box, you can see we have captured all the direct expenses, fixed assets, indirect expenses, indirect income, purchases, and sales. So this is the report, and it is bifurcated ledger-wise, rate-wise, amount-wise, and input-output bifurcation for CGST, HGST, IGST. Okay. So suppose if you want sales rate-wise, then you have to just select the sales. And if you use pivot table on rate column, you will get rate-wise sales details. Okay. Or in case of GSTR 9, they want us to fill in details of total GST on services, total GST on capital goods, and total GST on normal goods. So I have removed income ledgers. And simple trick is you have to read the nomenclature. How many ledgers are there? There are 55 ledgers. So you have to read the nomenclature only and go on writing whether it is service, whether it is capital goods, or whether it is normal goods. So go on writing for 55 times. Use pivot table on this column, and you will get ready-made bifurcation of data, that total GST on services, total GST on normal goods, and total GST on capital goods. Then in case of GSTR 9, table number 14 is there. So 18 headings are available, are required to be filled in table number 14 of GSTR 9C. So same trick you have to use whenever matching nomenclature is there. Like in case of freight, you can write down freight, but labor charges is not the ready-made heading available. In that case, you have to write down employee charges or employee cost. So go on writing matching heading from GSTR 9C table 14. If matching heading is not available, then you can write down other expenditures, and then use pivot table. You will get ready-made table number 14. Achha, one RCM report is also there. So in category GST related ledger configuration only, you have to detect the ledgers of RCM, and then you have to provide the current GST rate applicable for RCM. On that basis only, we will provide you ready-made table. You can see this table. The ledgers are listed one below the other. The GST rate is there, and the monthly totals are there. So you can compare this table. If, like in case of April, 1754 is the amount. If any higher amount of RCM is there, it is a problem. If any lower amount of RCM is there, then it is also a problem. Okay. So this is how GST reports are there. Okay. Now let's jump to aging analysis. So originally this report was designed on the basis of bill-wise accounting, but there is a problem. I can say even 80% people are not following bill-wise accounting, and remaining 20% are also not meticulously following the bill-wise accounting. Most of the time they pass on accounting entries, on account payment entries, or on account receipt entries, and that's why our closing balances were not matching with their closing balances, and people were pointing at us that your report is wrong. So forcefully, I have to design this report on FIFO method, but I will be providing you the option in coming update whether you want FIFO basis report or bill-wise accounting report. So I will be using bill-wise first, and if there is a difference between their closing and our closing, then the remaining amount will be treated on the FIFO basis. So that report will be much more meaningful report. We are working on that. Right now it is on FIFO basis. So what is FIFO method? We take total of the payments, then we deduct first opening balance, then we go on deducting bills one by one, and remaining bills will be shown as outstanding. Whether the balance, closing balance is in credit or debit, that has been given here, and the total amount will be shown, and that amount is bifurcated in the buckets, 0 to 30, 30 to 60 are the buckets. Last bucket is more than 180 days. And then voucher-wise details are also there. So, for example, this Acme system having two vouchers, 1600 and 1599, which are outstanding for 0 to 30 days, and the amounts are shown. Okay. So now here, Rule 37 comes into picture. You have to select all the credit vouchers and you have to select ledgers outstanding for more than 180 days. Okay, so these are the vouchers which are outstanding. They have not paid for 6 months. Then Rule 37 of GST rule says you have to reverse the input credit, and these are the vouchers for your ready reference. Similar data is given in the debtors. Now some analytical reports are there. I will be reading the headings only so that you will understand the reports. First is account squared off. So these are the ledgers which are squared off during the year. So debit and credit is matching, no closing balance. Or asset addition deletion. This is also a tax audit table. Here we are showing assets addition deletion details, voucher number, date, amount, and number of days are also calculated. In case of addition, from date of addition to 31st of March, and in case of deletion, from 1st April to deletion date. If narrations are there, those will be reflected. Now this company is not bill-wise, not using bill-wise accounting, so open bill references report is not there. Now all the exception reports are there, like creditors with income and sales entries. So this is the exception, or creditors with receipt entries. Or you can discuss this, creditors having no purchases. You can discuss with the client why purchases are not recorded, what is the reason. Okay. Then debtors with purchase or expenditure. There should be income and sales entries, but purchase and expenditure entries for debtors are given. Or debtors with no sale, or debtors with payments, or expenses through cash. So this is the report requested, that they want us to give the report where cash component is there in the expenditure. So we are selected only those ledgers where those expenditure ledgers where, so expenditure contains fixed asset also. So direct, indirect expenses and fixed asset where cash is involved, and we are showing total expenditure. Cash is shown separately, and difference will be shown under others. Others means through bank, OD, debtors, loans and advances, etc. So negative figures means receipt entries are there in case of sale of asset. Okay. So these are the multiple reports. You can just read down. Expenditure comparison is there. Expenses with no creditors are there. Expenses with receipts are there. So multiple reports are there. Okay. Income with payments are there. No transaction during there. No transaction during the year means opening and closing balance is same throughout the year. So these are all the analytical reports. Then some of the cash reports are there. Then I will jump to this reconciliation and other things. So in cash report, monthly deposits in bank or ODCC is given. So for single cash ledger, this report. If there are two ledgers, then this report will be, so another ledger will be shown one below the other. Okay. So cash ledger wise report is generated, and how much amount is deposited in bank monthly or in ODCC, or how much amount is withdrawn from bank or ODCC. But this is very important. Section 44AB comes into picture when your clients having turnover more than 1 crore but below the threshold limit of tax audit. Then you have to see whether total cash receipts are more than 5% of total tally receipts. Here contra entry are excluded, or total cash payments are more than 5% of total tally payment. Okay. So if these criteria are matching, then tax audit is applicable, provided the turnover is more than 1 crore but below the tax audit threshold limit. So now this is very important report. You have to check each and every tally company where turnover is more than 1 crore but below the threshold limit. Then negative bank entries will be shown, or negative cash entries if there, those will be shown. In data checks, we say we show the accounts with no GST or PAN. So now you can see this update tally option is there. One thing is there, update tally option will run on only license version of tally. Now, as I am showing this demo on education mode, I'm not able to demonstrate that update tally, but I will be showing how it works. Okay. So in this case, you can see these are the ledgers where either GST number or PAN number is missing. So if you download this report through this update tally option, and if you write down all the GST number or PAN number, software will automatically update all the ledgers in tally. Okay. Then duplicate GST number. This is also a problem. So one GST number is used in more than one ledger. So you can see this Acme number is used in Agni devices. That's why that the GST query of IGST, CGST is appeared. Okay. So all these problems will be taken care by update tally button. Duplication of PAN is there. Duplicate vouchers are there. So duplicate vouchers means same narration, same party, same invoice number, and same amount. Then it will be treated as duplication of ledgers. What is probable purchase and sale of asset? So in generic configuration, we have provided keywords for assets. You can add or delete the keywords for assets. Similarly, you can add and delete the keywords for indirect expenditures. Okay, revenue expenditure basically. So software is reading the narration and it has captured the word TV, which is a keyword. And depending upon your audit materiality, you can decide the amount. Okay. So I have given the amount of 5,000 rupees. So according to software, TV's purchase, which is having amount more than 5,000, and it is debited to purchases. So it is saying verify whether it is purchase of asset. Similarly, the rack word is captured, amount is more than 5,000 and it is credited to sales. So software is asking, no, it is just drawing your attention to the entries. You have to go dig in, you have to see whether registration of the, whether it is actually asset or not, whether the registration of asset is in name of the company or not. And then you can decide depending upon your audit materiality, whether to capitalize or not. Then spell check report is there. Those CS who are into account writing practice and they are having multinational clients. They have requested us to have a spell check report. So we will calculate spelling mistakes in the name of pages and groups. This is very important report, verify creditors and debtors entries. Basically, these can be adjustment entries. So we have given the status of explains. We have not used word fail or pass. Okay. For example, verify debit entry. So technically, as per accounting principle, there should be debit of purchase of the purchases, input GST, direct indirect expenses, and fixed asset. If anything other than these categories is debited, like in this case, sales is debited to creditor, then it will be treated as adjustment entry, and software will say, please explain this entry. Okay. Or in this case, verify credit entries. Credit other than cash, bank, ODCs, and TDS is found. Indirect expenditure entry is found. So indirect expenditure is credited to creditor. So you have to go through all the entries. If any suspicious entry or any important entries there, you can have a discussion with client to understand the nature of the case. So there are multiple reports. These are the important ones. Then let's. Acha, there is another. I wanted to explain the update tally. So this is the update tally button. You can download this Ledger Masters, and then the suggestions are given. You can change the wrong GST number, wrong PAN number, or duplication of work. And if you download the vouchers, the suggestions will be given that TDS is wrong or GST is wrong. Accordingly, you have to change the master vouchers. And if you upload everything in here, it will be updated in Tally automatically. But because as I said, it is a education mode of Tally, I am not able to show this report to you. But you will get the ready-made video for these features. Another feature is suggested by one of the senior CA. It is a keyword search. Actually, it is a control F function as we use in our Excel or Word. So if you want to find out any particular word through the Tally company, suppose I want to find out the word bill, I can decide the area, whether I want to search word in narrations, ledgers or group. I am saying I want to search in all areas. The date range you can select, and if you say submit, so you will get this report wherever the bill word is used. Okay. So this is helpful for detecting this personal ledger expenditures or previous period item, etc. So, now important feature is, now these three features we say as complementary one because they are requested by the clients and we have developed them. So reconciliation of opening balance is there. Now I don't have two different Tally companies, so I'm showing this report in same Tally company, but you will understand the concept. So you can see there are two fields: previous year company, old company, and new company. So what happened when we have finalized our Tally company last year? We must have passed some of the adjustment entries. We must have prepared some of the ledgers which client is unaware of, or we must have let him know, but the accountant may not have updated the details. So there is always chance of difference between opening and closing balances. So before going for audit of the current year, it is our duty to check whether current year opening balances are matching with the previous year closing balances. So, and when you pull the data, you have to see that only balance sheet related groups are ticked and P&L related groups are unticked. Okay, if they are ticked, you have to manually untick the groups. So I'm going for the continuation. Three things you have to keep in mind. First thing, you have to take the backup of both of the Tally companies. Secondly, you have to split the tally data. Previous year company should be split up to 31st of March and current year company from 1st of April. And because only one ODBC server is available in Tally, you have to open both the companies in same Tally. Then once you pull the data and say continue, software will compare the ledgers, amounts of opening and closing balance, and it will give you the report for mismatch of opening and closing balances. So firstly, it will compare all the ledgers and say whether the previous year company's ledgers are found in new company or not found in new company. So if the ledgers are not found in new company, right now you have to manually punch in those ledgers under new company, but with the help of update tally button, it will be automatically taken care by the software. So because I'm using same company, all the ledgers are found in new company, but suppose if no ledger is not found in new company is the status, then you can punch in that ledger manually in the new tally company. Otherwise, your opening balances will not tally. And these are the previous year closing balances, and these are the current year new opening balances. And if there is a difference, so minus is debit and plus is credit. So if there is a difference, it will be update opening balances saying yes. So there is a need of updation of tally. So it is saying yes. If there is no difference, it will be shown as no. So if you select all yes from here, software will show you. So it is a filter. You will get all the ledgers where there is a difference between closing and opening balances. So if you have a time, you want accountant to do everything, you can download this, ask to client, and he will update everything. But the due date is there. You don't have that much time. You have to finish the audit. You have to file everything in before due date. Then simply use update tally. Right now, this is the only feature where we are updating the tally data. So once you say update tally, all this confirmed opening balance will be updated in new tally company. That's why the split of data is required. Suppose the tally data is continuing from say 1st April 2016, and if you say update tally, then software will go and update everything in 1st April 2016. You want to update the opening balance of current year. That's why you need to split the company from current year 1st April only. Okay. So suppose you have updated everything. If you pull again both the tally data, you will not find any mismatch between opening and closing balances. Another report is 2A and 2B reconciliation. I will be showing you 2A only. So as I said, I have got all the tally data, but I don't have GST Suvidha provided license. You have to download the .json files for 2A. Now all the JSON files are in zip format. So suppose you are going for yearly 2A or 6 monthly or quarterly 2A reconciliation, don't unzip all the JSON files in one stance. Okay, you have to unzip each JSON file individually and provide separate name. You can name them as 1, 2, 3 or April, May, June, whatever the case may be. But each JSON file should have separate name. Otherwise, software will get confused and it will not be able to reconcile the data. So you have to upload that unzipped JSON file over here. There is a USP. Suppose you are having a group company, so head offices and branches are there, and everything is registered under one GST number. Means they are in the same state. Okay, so head office in Bombay and branches are in Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad, whatever the case may be, and everybody is having their own tally company. Branches are having different tally companies and head office is having different tally companies. It is the case. Then you have to open all the head office tally. So you have to open all the tally companies under same tally, head office as well as branches. That list will be provided over here. You have to tick mark all the branches and head office, and we will run the 2A reconciliation on all the group companies in within one reconciliation mode. Okay, so you don't have to go for separate reconciliation for branches and head office. Within one go, we will reconcile everything for you. So this is our USP. I am having one education institution all over Maharashtra. They are having 65 nurseries, school, colleges, etc. And their employees were frustrated. They have to take the Excel report of each tally company and they have to check 2A files from so Excel file from for 2A they used to download, and they go on using Excel data to reconcile. They have requested us, and then we have come up with the solution. Now they take only 15 minutes to complete the 2A and 2B reconciliation. So it is so effective. Acha. Again, there is an option given. It is also a USP. You must be knowing that accountant never punch in entire invoice number. They punch in numerical numbers from GST number. So options are provided whether you want exact match, only invoice number, special characters you want to ignore, or you want to ignore spaces, or we will match you left 7 letters, right 7 letters, left 5 letters. So these are the options given. You can pick by as per your requirement. and you can run. Now I have this report ready-made available in Excel. So I will show you this on Excel. So three reports are available. So one is summary, one is reconciliation, and one is in Tally, not in JSON. And in that you will get five options. So first option is GST or PAN not found. This is the biggest problem right now. So what happens when you download JSON file? JSON file contains only GST number. It is not having a supplier name content in it. Okay. So what we do, we compare this GST number in Tally and we capture the supplier's name. But if GST number or PAN number is not maintained in Tally, then we are not able to reconcile those details. So it is requested that you have to update all the Tally details. Then invoice not found. Suppose the invoice is not available in Tally. So you can see the taxable amount from Tally is 0. Okay, GST amount from Tally is 0. So that's why we are not able to match the invoice not found. Then match found. Match found means JSON file has the GST number. Accordingly, we have captured the company, capture the supplier name. We have got invoice from JSON. We have got invoice from Tally. It is matching, and all the amounts are matching. So taxable amount is matching, and GST amounts are also matching. Now there is the option of rounding up in generic configuration. I have used 2 rupees as rounding up option. So up to difference of 2 rupees, it will be shown as match. If any difference more than 2 rupees, it will be shown as mismatch. So you have to decide the amount of rounding up. Like I am having one client having 950 crores of company on Tally, and they said us up to 150 rupees we want match because it is costlier than 150 rupees to follow up those guys. Okay, so up to 150 rupees you show the parties the difference up to 150 rupees as match. So it is up to you. As per your audit materiality, you can decide the amount of rounding off, and accordingly software will say whether it is match or mismatch. Next option is mismatch. Mismatch means we have found out the party, we have found out the invoice, etc. But amounts are not matching. You can see the taxable amount in JSON is 14,000 and in Tally is 16,000. So all the mismatch are shown. And our USP is probable match. So what is probable match? In JSON file, the invoice number is CM44398, but in Tally it is 4439. Or in JSON, the number is PUN 18192337, but in Tally, wrongly PUN space 1819 is there. Or this is the classic example, TRI/1819/2186, but in Tally only 2186 is used. So we capture those right, left letter, 7 letter, 5 letter, whatever the case may be. We capture those invoices, we see whether date is matching, whether amounts are matching, and then we show it as probable match. Separate report is there that we have claimed a credit in Tally, but that credit is not shown in the JSON file. So you have to follow up these parties and ask them to update their Tally, their report, returns, GST returns, so that you can claim, you can get the input credit for these transactions. Now, one separate reconciliation is shown. Amount of GST shown in JSON and the amount of GST shown in Tally, and difference is given, and this difference is reconciled. This difference is reconciled, or this difference is there because either GST or PAN is not there, so we are not able to reconcile this amount, or invoices are not punched in Tally, so there is a difference. Then mismatch is JSON, means Tally is showing correct amount, but JSON amount is wrong. Or mismatch in Tally means JSON is showing correct amount, but wrong amount is shown in Tally, and in Tally not in JSON. So formula is A plus B plus C minus D minus C. So you can see the difference is reconciled, only 2 rupees rounding of difference is there. This means we have considered all GST entries, nothing is left, and difference is reconciled. And you will get match JSON amount as well as probable match JSON amount also. Okay. So these are the reports on Ledger Vision. Now let's jump to Ledger Fusion. Then we can have a discussion. We can have suggestions around or a question answer round. So there is a separate company for Ledger Fusion. This is the private limited company for 20 and 21. So we'll change the period and we will open Ledger Fusion over here. So I will be skipping modus operandi. I will be showing you the results. I will explain the modus operandi. Okay, so you have to select the company. Now there are two options. Either you can have a continuing tally company, same company is having previous year data and current year data, or you must be having two different companies, split data. Previous year companies in separate data and current year company in separate data. Okay. So in that case, you have to open both the tally companies in the same tally. To pull the current year data, you have to select that tally company in tally and the period, and you have to pull the current year data. And to pull the previous year data, again you have to see whether that company is opened in tally. So you have to open the previous company in tally, you have to select the previous period in tally, and then pull the data. So data means we pull opening balances, closing balances, debit total and credit total. Now, some of the clients requested us to that they want only current year balance. So balance sheet. So if you want only current year balance sheet, just tick mark this box. You will get only current year related balance sheet. So no previous comparative balance sheet will not be there. Okay. Now because it is a private limited company, I have selected option schedule 3, but you can select the option as per your tally company. Now you can see trust, NGO or AOP BOI is not there. That option will be there in next week. Currently, as per updated schedule 3, rounding off option is there. So rounding off is given. You can use 100, thousands, lakhs or crores depending upon the audit materiality or requirement of the schedule 3. Now you have to enter the number of classes of shares. Right now, this company is having only one class of shares and 2 promoters are there. And then you can download the configuration. I have ready-made downloaded configuration. I will use that only. It is in Excel format, and technically configuration means it is the opening closing balance. So it is the trial balance of with opening and closing balances. Okay. Let me open it. So configuration means it is a trial balance in opening closing format. Okay. I have this column for yesterday's presentation. Achha. So you can see you have to answer the questions. Mostly these are the signatory related details. All the details are not available from Tally, so you have separately answer questions. So you have to write down the name of the company, address of the company, scene, name of the director, dean of the director, designation of the director, then designation, name of the audit firm, address of the audit firm, contact number and email ID, FRN, the actual auditor's name, whether it is partner or promoter, MRN, UDIN, place, everything you have to punch in. Achha. Then you have to write down the authorized capital related details from previous year data because those are not available in Tally ready-made. Then you have to give the details of issued capital, whether there is a buyback of issue of share, whatever the case may be. Then promoters detail. This is the new requirement for schedule 3. So promoter details you have to punch in, then you will get the ready-made result. Achha, the note list is provided. This is the note list given by MCA 21 in its guidelines. And so note 1 is for share capital, note 2 is for reserves and surplus. What should be the sub notes for reserves and surplus? So everything is given in guidance note. According to this note list, we map everything. So you can see the filter is there. So you can see sundry creditors are automatically mapped in front of trade payables. Okay. So in drop down, you will get all the notes. 95% things are mapped by software automatically, but there are 5 areas you have to be cautious about. Mostly there is a spelling mistake in case of deferred tax. So you have to see whether deferred tax is correctly mapped, whether accumulated depreciation and all assets are correctly mapped, whether provisions and current tax are correctly mapped. So these are the things. Everything else is mapped by software automatically. It is also a one-time activity. So how to check? You have to select the groups. Suppose I want to check in that expenses. Here I will get the deferred tax details. So I'm getting current tax, deferred tax, depreciation, all the details are there. And I can see it is mapping correctly. So in deferred tax, you can see it is a P&L item. In the assets or liability, it will select whether it is deferred tax liability or deferred tax asset respectively as the case may be. Okay. So everything is mapped by software automatically. You have to save this and you have to upload this configuration over here. Once you upload the configuration, it is up to you whether you want detailed view of balance sheet or condensed view. You have to tick mark. And then while preparation of balance sheet also, there is an option. If you have finalized tally, finalized means you have past deferred tax account related entries, current tax provision entries, then company law depreciation or income tax depreciation, everything you have taken care, you have finalized the tally company and only Excel balance sheet is pending, then you can say okay. But if you have not calculated anything, then we can calculate MAT, current tax, depreciation, and deferred tax for you. Okay. So once you say yes, you will get this ready-made output in Excel. So firstly, you will get the cover page. Okay, here you will get all the details. Then management representation certificate standard pointers are there. Okay, so you can use these pointers and you can get them signed by the management on the letterhead. You can alter, you can update because it is in Excel. You can do whatever you want. Then balance sheet is there. So all the signatory details are there, and balance sheet is matching. You can see all the notes are there. The hyperlinks are provided. You can jump to notes. So all authorized capital details as per your instructions are there. You can jump back to balance sheet, and you can see all the links and formulas will be shown. So nothing is hidden. It is as whatever we are manually working on Excel, same output is there. So P&L is there. So we calculate deferred tax and current tax for you. Then notes are shown one below other. Okay, one below the other. So all notes are there. Significant accounting policies and notes are shown. Standard pointers are given. You can update, you can alter, you can delete as per your requirement. Now all the disclosures are not available from Tally. Right now I am struggling with this. They are asking us for aging analysis for less than 1 year, 1 to 2 year, 2 to 3 year, and more than 3 years. Because I am pulling only 2 years data right now, I am not able to deliver this report, but I am working on this. You will get updated version where you can have this aging analysis for trade payables and debtors. Acha. Um, Again, some of the areas are not available in Tally. Like this is the requirement: title deeds of the immovable property not held in the name of company. This information is not available in Tally. Or index of charges. This information is not available in Tally. So all the blank formats are given so that you don't miss anything. And if you don't want, if it is not applicable, you can delete this from Excel format. But it is requested by users to provide blank format, so I have given it. Then the ratio analysis is there. Ratio analysis is there. Only DSCR is not there right now because we are pulling only opening and closing balances. So we don't know the actual repayment of principal amount during the year. So that's why that DSCR is not there. Then we have provided cash flow. So we will get cash flow from financing activities. We will get cash flow from investing activities. We will get cash flow from operating activities. Then because we want to calculate income tax, we have given you blank this thing. Disallowance template is given. You have to fill in the amounts in front of respective sections. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind: if you are using rupees in thousand, then while writing down this amounts of disallowance, you have to write down the amounts in rupees in thousand because everything else is in rupees in thousand. So before calculation of income tax, you can select the income tax rate from here also. So income tax rates in drop down only available. You can select the rate, and software will calculate you MAT and income tax. For calculation of income tax and deferred tax, you have to calculate first depreciation under income tax company law. So the template is given. You have to fill in the details. If you don't want to use this template, you can use your ready-made template. Copy paste that here. But in that case, you have to provide the linking for that template. In case of IT depreciation, you have to just punch in the WDB from previous year, then it will be ready-made, readily available for you. Okay, and on that basis, we will calculate you deferred tax. Okay, and on that basis also, we will calculate you the income tax. So accordingly, you will get ready-made balance sheet. Similarly, non-corporate balance sheets are also there. Same presentation is there. Only thing is, balance sheet and P&L is shown on vertical basis. But as per WRC guidelines, in case of LLP, the vertical balance sheet is required. So we are providing the option whether you want vertical balance sheet or horizontal balance sheet. Accordingly, the balance sheet will be provided. So this is all from my side. Now we can have this discussion or question answers. So anybody having any questions, queries, or anybody having any suggestions, we can have the discussion right now. Alpana ma'am or Shah sir. Hello.
Yeah, there are no questions posted in the chat box.
Correct.
So members, would you want to ask your questions? You can unmute yourself and ask your questions, please.
So one more thing, this is our website ledgervision.in, and I will, so you can download the demo versions. Right now the demo version is with full features, but only April, May, June scrutiny is there. But if you want, I can help you. I can provide you full version for 1 week with 5 tally companies, so that you can try one company. I will be showing you, and other 3, 4 companies you can try it on your own, so that you can understand what results are generated by the software, whether they are of your use, whether they are satisfactory or not. So you can download Ledger Vision from here and Ledger Fusion from here. And in overview page, you will get all the videos. Okay. So if you click to overview page, you will get our YouTube channel where you will get all the videos. And as I said, software is self-sufficient. It is self-instructing. So this is our YouTube channel. Okay. And these are our contact details. You can write down on ledgervision@gmail.com, or you can contact me on this number. So if anybody is having any query, you can raise the queries, or if suggestions are there, you can provide your valuable suggestions. Accordingly, software is updated. Software will be updated within 10-20 days.
This presentation that you've given, you'll be sharing it with me?
Yes, sir. You want PPT?
Yeah, you can put it on WhatsApp to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. I will. Sushma madam, or maybe I will also be sending this to you.
Okay, so in this case, the fact nobody is coming up with any queries, it seems.
Yeah. Unless and until they don't use it, there will not be a query. So it is requested that try demo version. I will be providing you full version. Okay. Yes, sir.
So I think we'll end with this fantastic session. Good software that you come up with.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Worth trying. I will personally, on my personal account, yes, I will be getting in touch with you for this.
Great, sir.
On behalf of all the members, I'd like to thank you for being present and explaining.
Thanks a lot, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.